Greetings, Inquisitors. Welcome to the Holocron. This is the Week 72 update for the Darth Loquitur account. I update this account's progress every week, talk about the characters, the plans for how we're going to go forward, and you can follow along. With that in mind, let's get into it and see what we managed to do with the account this week. The plan was to get Aayla Sakura to relic level 1 week since our last relic, and we managed to do it. We got all the pieces needed to get her to relic level. We only need to amplify her to relic level 3. A lot of times I like to take characters up to relic level 5 so they can participate in the Rancor raid. But in this case, we're probably just going to park her at 3, at least for a little while. We still have relic levels to get on a couple of the other characters. So next time we relic a character, maybe we could also get our Jango Fett finished out and get him up to the full relic level he needs to be for the JMK journey. Now, Aayla, we did speed her up, and you'll see that her crit chance is over 100%. For people familiar with her kit, you'll know that she also gets 10% on Superior Riposte, and she is able to stun on a critical hit. So we've jacked up her critical hit well over 100% to try to guarantee critical hits even against things that resist critical hits. And then we have potency on the cross so that she can get that stun off. Here we take Cody to gear 12, and then we're thinking about starting him as the next relic, but at the end of the day, I think Mace deserves to be the next relic in honor of the announcement that he's going to be reworked. Let's go ahead and get him to relic, just in case he's good enough that we want to work on him and get him going in some teams right away. I'm also going to go into the gear and lock down a couple of these pieces before I do the rest of the stuff for the build. And that's just to make sure that if I'm working on other characters, this material already got combined. I can see it, or in the case of the top pieces, I'll avoid using those on something else, so I commit them to that character and secure them in ahead of time. Bo-Katan is still the furthest behind. We still need a star on her. Still have 23 shards left to farm, 33 shards left to farm on her. So hopefully we'll get that in order in time for her to be reliced in the proper order. Going through our characters now, we have a few things where we can upgrade. Mandalorian down here, we take him to 6 stars. And at some point we've got to get this character started and get him to join the Grand Arena team. And I'm thinking about doing that for today, but we've only got 16 million credits. There's some other stuff that I want to work on. So for now, we have a full bounty hunter team. We don't need to build him, so we're going to keep him parked for a little while longer. Going through the different teams we have here, we can take a look at all the different options. At the end of the day, I think dividing up the troopers has been tough for us, getting an Iden Versio team going as well as a regular trooper team. And we did commit the Omicron to this Iden Versio already, but haven't made good enough use of her yet. So I feel like getting some of these troopers worked up so that they can support Iden is a pretty big deal. Ranged trooper is a pretty good trooper, so we're going to go ahead, invest a bit in him first. Get some gear tiers on him. We get him up to gear 10. So he's at least going to be a little more functional, either for the main team if we need him in the main team or in the Iden Versio team. Shore Trooper needs Mark III hollow projectors, so he very quickly runs out of the ability to be leveled up. That's okay. Chipping away at these guys a little bit at a time. Hermit Yoda needs to be started. We've been buying his shards from the Guild Event Token store. We've got him almost to 7 stars, so probably about time to get him up and running. Still need, 55 shards on him to get him to 7 stars, but we're getting close. So we'll go in here, put skills onto the Grandmaster Yoda. At the end of the day, we decided to put him all the way to 85 because there are a couple of his skills that you just can't get to the last level until you 85 him, so we do that. Then we're going to put mods on him. Not the most fantastic mods, but we're just going to try to make him as fast as we can with reasonable stuff. go ahead and put a tenacity set on him. It's just stuff that I have that has more appropriate main stats. Not that he's that good with a tenacity set, but it's a placeholder. We'll get him going, and then we can work on his gear here in the future weeks. We do have this Night Sister Spirit. We can go ahead and promote her to 7 stars, get her some levels, again, we're just positioning these Night Sisters for investment at some point later in the future. We're down to 3 million credits, so we're not going to get much more done here. Again, leveling these characters up is quite a big credit sink. Let's get her gear to gear 8. We'll stop her off there. We'll work on a few of her skills, making that easier again when we come back here in the future at some point. Now, we haven't done much work on the Night Sisters as far as mods. We need a couple Zetas to get them going. But at the end of the day, this is really all about just getting the team in a position where at some point in the future we'll be able to invest this last bit, get mods on it, and have some kind of functional team. Daka's the star of the show, so in future weeks we're really going to have to start prioritizing Daka, get her worked on and leveled up. Here we're starting Finn, but then very quickly we are completely out of credits, so we switch over to ships. We do get our 6th star on the Hyena Bomber. That's pretty exciting. There's a pretty big difference between 5 and 6 stars. 6 and 7 is good, but the upgrade to 6 stars is one that feels like I've been waiting on for quite some time. We'll continue to work on these ships, these bounty hunter ships that we're building up. Not very good yet, with not very high stars. We do have the Xanadu Blood with a relic Cad Bane, so that's we should have probably been investing in that before the IG 2000, because we really haven't invested in IG 88. But we'll get that ship going as well, put some credits into it, get it going for next week. Not really much else that I can do with ships here. So that work was 40,000 galactic power. Started Hermit Yoda, got some other things going on, so decent week. Galactic power is now up to 3.11 million. Added that 40,000. We got our 29th relic, still at 41 Zetas, holding on there. Saving up all of our stuff. We've got Zetas to put on Cat. We've got Zetas to put on JMK when we get him. And it'll still be a couple months before we get to JMK, but I don't want to start putting Zetas everywhere. Once we get him up and running and all of his Zetas applied, then we can look to other characters. The Squad Arena, C is still in the top 100. Negotiator Fleet's still getting us top 5. And the project is now Mace Windu for 2 weeks out. If we do well on Mace Windu, we can potentially finish him in a little over a week. And that'll give me that second week to start working on another character. And maybe I can do a 1 week cycle on the Clone Sergeant after we get Mace Windu. So that's the hope. We're trying to crunch these guys together and get the last bit done. I still have this target of getting Kenobi journey underway by May 4th. That's a target that I set and I'm hoping to meet. Next week we've got the same farm scheme that we've had. We did tack Cara Dune onto the end of it. That is a lot of hard farms, but I'm not willing to wait any longer for Cara Dune to get going. We really have to start farming her shards if we want to do the Executor journey. So I'm going to go ahead and add her in there. It'll cut down the amount of Kairos that I can be farming every week, but I think that's okay for now. We're not in bad shape on Kairos, so we'll get her underway. In Fleet, we're still farming that Mandalorian. In Cantina, we're just working on signal data for now. In mods, just farming speed, maybe some defense mods, some other stuff. We got the double drops coming up in the next few days, so I believe that only applies to slicing materials, so it's quite likely that I'll actually be farming slicing materials for most of the week with the double drops going on. That's the most efficient way to do it. Refresh strategy is pretty much the same, but again, if there's double drops, I'll take as many Cantina refreshes as I can grab. Same plan for Prestige 3 times a week. Fleet Store, buying Zetas. There's not really a lot of stuff there. Of course, we're grabbing the Razor Crest every time it's coming up, and working on some characters in the background, getting our wedge ready for someday, some things like that. So restructuring the teams, we set up a whole bunch of new stuff last week, and this week is the second week of us working on that. So we got some progress on the Range Trooper, we got some progress on Hermit Yoda, got him started. Worked a little bit on the Night Sister Spirit. Other than that, not a whole lot of progress. We started thinking about First Order to try to get that BB-8 to 7 stars, and that's it's going to take a while. We just got to prioritize between feeding the Shard Shop for more relics and spending some shop currency on things like Phasma and Old School Kylo Ren. So we'll continue to try to work on those characters out of the shop where we can. Still need to farm up ARC Trooper, but like I said, we're really struggling to keep up with the signal data at the current relic cycle. So with all of the extra gear drops that we've got now, the characters are coming up faster. We're preparing them for relic faster. We're getting the relics onto the characters in 1 or 2 weeks now, generally in a 2-week cycle. But that makes it hard for me to keep up with signal data when I don't have all those Cantina refreshes going on every day. Remember, we have spent a lot of crystals trying to get Cat. I think I calculated it on stream today that it was 21,000 crystals that we've had to spend getting Cat finished out. So we've really had a lot of investment there. If you think about that, that's 210 Cantina refreshes that we've given up. It's really a lot of crystals. So in that regard, once that pressure's off and we can use that material for Cantina refreshes, I might find that it's not as bad. And hopefully that'll let us finish out things like the ARC Trooper. We've got Gar Saxon and the Super Commando that we have to finish someday as well. We've got the new characters that came from the Star Killer journey. It would be nice to maybe grab 1 or 2 out of those out of the Cantina someday. So looking forward to freeing up those crystals and being able to get back to doing some Cantina refreshes more often. As far as Cat goes, as of this, as of the video, we've only got 326 out of 330. But one more purchase on that, and we'll be able to get that Commander Ahsoka Tano unlocked next week. She'll join the team. I'm sure I'll get a buy by then. Yeah, that'll be pretty fantastic. So most of our resources next week will go into her, I'm sure, and we'll get her positioned as well as we can and start farming her up. We won't break into the relic cycle. We'll try to get her positioned to relic so that once we finish out the JMK Journey characters while we're farming light side stuff to get JMK going, then we'll also relic Commander Ahsoka Tano and get ready for the team. That's going to wrap it up for this week. Thank you all for watching. Remember, if you haven't joined our Discord, it's a fantastic place to be. There's a lot of good players over there, a lot of easy ways to get advice and get help, lots of good resources. So come on over, join our Discord. The link is in the description down below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff to help my channel out. I would appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next Holocron.